this article. It was by The Sun, and it's men are developing golden penis syndrome, and we need to put a stop to it. And
I got that.
Yeah, you have golden penis syndrome.
Like
I got a golden penis.
Gold. I'm not trying to promote my personal brand, but it's worth a lot.
It's an anomaly, bro.
What is it?
Golden penis.
What is it?
No, so the gist was, so this is funny to me, and the reason I like this is because, so forever it was kind of like 50-50 college, and now women are going to college at a way higher rate. And it's been about a week, and they already have a bunch of articles of being like, this is why this is worse for women.
Yeah, totally.
This is why guys are slanging D because they got a golden penis,
and they're mad
the only
about
one there.
Well, it's just straight supply and demand.
It's supply and demand.
Yeah, because apparently none of these girls are going to school for economics. They're going to.
But that's the funniest part about it, is it took them a week of being like, because they were like, it is so much harder for girls at college, and they're like, yeah, guys can't even get in, girls are going to college at like 30% more rate. And then they were like, that is terrible for us.
Yeah, that is an unintended consequence we didn't like.
We want
winning. We want more options.
And that's so funny.
That's how New York used to be for me. I don't know, but when I used to go there, like one time I went out, and this chick this when I was younger, she was cute. She came up, she's like, can I just make out with you? I was like, and my friend was like, yo, what was that? And I was like, I don't know what, that was crazy. And they're like, dude, there's so many gay guys here, and there's so many women that they're like, I don't know.
You were just such a commodity because of the ratio.
Because there's so many gay dudes.
We went to a school that was 70-30. We had golden dicks back before. It was cool.
And the beta energy too, where like, women aren't really interested in that. Like these guys that, the male feminists and stuff, they're not really like appealing. So I guess the ratio is so crazy that I was like, I could get used to that. But LA was not like that. But
LA, what do you mean LA wasn't like that?
I feel like it wasn't like there were a lot of women and just like a lot of gay dudes.
You're saying here was like a lot of dudes walking around.
I guess the ratio is better there, where women were like, oh my God, a guy that it isn't like, a total beta or something. But I feel like I wasn't even that cool there. But I was like, I felt really cool that night. I was like, dang, like what neighborhood are we in again? It was like Manhattan or something. I'll come back here.
Well, this is what they said. They go, there are few men enrolled in college than ever before, which means it's a tougher market for the collegiate females in terms of heterosexual relationships. And Tinder was the original thing that fucking evened out the supply and demand. Because originally girls had to be like, maybe I'll have sex with you, maybe I won't. And then they had to be like, no, yes, I'm here because I'm going to have sex. Like, you got to put it on the table. Bumble, they start swiping you first. That was the downfall for women. Dude, and then on top of that, that is sick. Honestly, I know that a lot of guys aren't going to college, and there's probably reasons, but at the same time, if you're like, hey, 70-30, and you could just go on apps like it's a crush fest. Like,
you can also just go get a job and live near a college.
Get a Sally Mae loan.
What my friend did.
Go 100K into debt.
Your buddy did that?
Ratio. So I said, get a Sally Mae loan, 100K in debt. They're like, hey, Ryan, I listen to your podcast. I'm in debt, but I piped a lot of
if you do the math, you paid like $10 a fucking pop. Do you think that people shouldn't go to college?
I mean, it depends what you're studying, but now with the mandates and stuff, it's.
But do you have strong opinions on? A lot of people are like college is useless. Do you have strong opinions on that?
I mind my own business, but I think it's definitely. I wouldn't look at it as favorably as I used to. Now, I think for me, I dropped out.
Going to 100 debt?
I don't think I learned anything.
Like Kanye West.
Yeah, except a little less rich. But yeah, I learned all my advertising and marketing just trying online. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the schools are forced vaccinating people. But if you have a degree that,
but even just like the other stuff aside from the vaccination, like finish 100K in debt with a fucking BA and nothing.
Yeah,
BA and dyeing your hair.
I would suggest against it, but I don't want to be the reason. Like some people need to be doctors and they need it.
No, we're not doctors.
Yeah, but if you get like a liberal arts degree or like even an advertising degree, I don't know. I felt like my hustle was what made it for me. I don't remember two things that I learned in school, but I was also a degenerate student.
Yeah, like advertising degree is a perfect thing because you're like, you can get an advertising degree, or you can just go like figure out Facebook ads and then go to a company and be like, hey, I know how to use this whole thing.
Listen to Gary Vee scream at you in the morning. He's like, wake the fuck up, pussy.
Dude,
start selling things. Like he's at a garage sale 5:30 in the morning. He's like, dude, this guy's hawking me. It's like this old guy bent over. I'm like, bro, he doesn't care. He's not like, he's like, dude, he's like, fuck out of the way, old guy. Like, That'll probably seriously work better than college. Listening to.
Oh yeah, can I tell you? I got to tell you a funny Gary Vee story, but we won't tell the details because
tell the details, dude.
No, I'll tell the details, but I can't tell
Behind
the
the
person
paywall,
it was.
perhaps?
Because
No, I'm just
it
kidding.
won't air out our body. But he was doing some stuff with Gary Vee, and then Gary Vee was deciding who is going to be like the film crew that like films this stuff. And Gary Vee everything's content for him, and he brings his staff in, and he goes, "So who has the job of like, for example, like if you have a crew and you're like, okay, I'm going to need you to go on this tour and film these videos for me. I need one video a day. I'm going to need you to do this." He makes his crew draw straws and films it to figure out which fucking his employees are doing that week. Yeah. Not like who's better. He makes them draw straws, and then he makes a video out of that.
He's a madman. He's the type where I'd be like, if I first met you, I'd be like, "Yo, how you doing?" I'd be like, "Yeah, just pound me."
Yeah.
Yo, did you get that? Did you get that? That's good. He's like, that's good. He's like that. And then like you're trying to talk to him. He always screams over people. And they're like,
he goes, always touching, never connecting. Always touching. always touching, never connecting. You good, bro? You good? You hear me? Always touching. It's Eddie does that face. Always touching, never connecting.
He's like, we got that? Okay, camera's off. He's like, fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, now get the hell out of my office.
Did you get the pound? Like, women are getting frustrated when it comes to dating men thanks to men's surging egos. Yeah. Women just need to get liberated by all these guys.
There's a lot of guys who want to do the liberating.
Let these men liberate you in college. Let the Boyscast fans.
Do you think that's a real problem, or just like that specific blogger has a problem, so she's trying to like?
She wants to be a princess. She goes, I don't have I have to just be in the dating market. Like how guys used to have to do it. They're basically, life is what guys' life used to be.
Right.
70% men. That's what it was for dudes back in the day.
Do you think it's just because they're not desirable? Like, I'm sure there's still women killing.
Say it to her face.
I mean, the thing is, this is the thing. She's editorializing by saying men are developed.
No, hot chicks that have a good mindset, they're probably still crushing. You know, she's like, why from my San Francisco apartment with my 7-cat view can I not see the guy down on the floor? It's like, it might be you.
That's her opinion that men are developing.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, she goes, men are developing golden penis syndrome. It's like, why? Because like some guy didn't call you back.
Yes.
Right. Exactly,
well, I want to hear what she says. She goes, it's more than that. She says it's a trend. She goes, they also
3 Tinder dates, the trend. Trending.
That's the thing. The rule of threes, it was a trend. She goes, there's also a trend of men not in college not wanting committed relationships because they want to keep
their options. Men in college don't want to be in committed relationships?
It's a trend.
Do tell. When did this trend start? When the first college opened? Like, what are you talking about?
I remember
she's been doing research and she's seen a trend. Yeah, research. Men don't want to be in relationships in college.
Tommy Lauren got like, really attacked by conservatives because she sat with like 5 chicks and she was like, men are trash or whatever. And it was like, and they're like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, we all agree. And I'm like, maybe you and your 4 friends, like, that poll is not the whole thing. Like, just because you have 4 agreeable friends, they're probably afraid to disagree with her. Like,
you're videotaping me right now, so it's like,
I'm not going to disagree on camera and get yelled at, but it must be true. I think that's what's going on. People,
the person's like, the one girl in the crew's like, these men won't sign. The other 2 are like, I'm dating someone.
Yeah, I love my boyfriend.
There's a trend of men that won't commit to us. And then the girl's like, my guy's been trying to rope me down, actually.
I think like male models aren't writing articles like, dude, it's really hard to get women nowadays. It's like the guy who's doing it. It's like Sylvester Johnstein from NPR. He's like, it's very difficult on Bumble. And you're like, dude, yes, but maybe not for everyone,
Well, another user chimed in saying that once she learned about the golden penis syndrome, then she knew she'd been a victim of it. If that doesn't define women.
I love how we're victimized. We're getting victimized by golden penis syndrome.
Golden penis syndrome rules.
Any guy that didn't like you has a golden penis. Also, that works in our favor.
She didn't realize when she was like, my dating life's been bad. He goes, no, you were a victim of golden penis syndrome.
Oh, right. Now that you say that makes everything remind me of how many times that's happened to me.
Literally makes everything better.
Next.
Golden penis syndrome is incredible.